Welcome, listeners. You have tuned in to Up Close at QuinteALIVE. Today, our guest is Mark Rashotte. You could say he is the King of Belleville because almost everyone in the region knows his name and of his success. He is the owner of the Empire Theatre, a jewel in Belleville's lapel. Mark's riches were made as the broker-owner of Canada's largest Royal LePage franchise. Today, QuinteALIVE has been taken into Mark's inner sanctum. Find out what makes him tick in business and privately. Good morning, Mark. Welcome to QuinteALIVE. It's such a pleasure to have you with us here today.
Well, thanks for having me here today.
I should say to have us with you because we're sitting here in your studio with...
You are. You're right here in a room that not too many people get to see. Upstairs at the Empire Theatre, it's sort of my sandbox, my playroom, whatever you want to say, and it's the quiet office, but it also has a lot of the things that I deal with on a daily basis around me here. Being, again, if you're not here, you might see a picture or two, obviously, but of guitars and recording equipment and things like that that I deal with on a daily basis.
Well, I can see that. It looks like a very your personal sandbox, your playground.
That's what it is. It's right here. And
your cave.
It is. I'm not into the word man cave, but if somebody saw this, they would say, yes, that's what it was. Not a problem.
All right, so what did I not spot in here? I can see the near 100 guitars, vintage guitars. I can see the equipment. What else is in here that resonates? Your escape.
Oh, well, there's just a lot of these stuff. There's the guitars, I mean, they are varying degrees of things. There's some vintage guitars, there's signature guitars that have been signed by some of the artists that have come through.
Name some big names.
Well, I mean, there's ones of Lindsey Buckingham signing his returner guitar, which is very cool. Of course, Slash has been here a couple of times now, and he's got his signature guitar, and Peter Frampton and Buddy Guy and those type of folks that have their signature guitars signed right here in this room. You know, is pretty cool that they've been here and have done that kind of stuff here.
Yeah, there's some heavy DNA in this room, isn't there?
Oh, there is. I mean, there's the conversations that have taken place in here with some of the biggest artists in the world. I just shake my head that they've actually taken place here. Period. Let alone right here in this room. So it's pretty cool, and that's one of the big pluses of having the Empire Theatre and having the Empire Square Live outside. To get some of the acts that have been a big influence on me. I've been very excited to have. I've been fans. I'm a music fan of all kinds of different music, and but to have those folks here and to have a conversation and to try not to go all Chris Farley on them when I'm talking to them. You know, it's which sometimes I'm sort of in that zone where I just want to say, hey, you remember when, you know, and you just try to hold back a bit. But I think the one thing that's really cool is that they're very, very real people. These people that come and the artists that come here, and they are not. I mean, they're just everyday folks, and even somebody like a Slash who from a career point of view and from a success point of view, and what he's done in his career, I mean, he could come and be the biggest idiot of all time, and I would respect that, and I would say, yeah, you got a right to do that, because when you're that kind of artist and that kind of level, if you want to be, go ahead, but you know, he shows up and he's such a nice, and anybody's ever heard an interview with him or seen him, I mean, he's such a soft-spoken gentleman, very intelligent, and just an all-around nice guy. And that's just such a refreshing, and they always make you feel comfortable in the conversations. And they're glad to be here. I mean, this is their job. They're out playing. They're having fun playing, and especially some of the classic rock guys that have been around forever. I mean, they're glad. Like the guys like George Thorogood, where you know, you say hello to George, and you know, 40 minutes later he has finished telling you rock history that you've never heard of before, because he's just so in tune with everything when it comes to rock and roll. those are the experiences that I wish I had my tape recorder running and the camera there handy to be able to capture. But someday I'll have to write some of this stuff down so people can share it the same way I have.
Yeah, are you thinking of writing a book?
Well, not necessarily. I'm not. That's not on my list right now. But you never know.
Well, you could dictate a book with technology today.
That
Save
is
some
true.
time, because you're a man that doesn't have much time.
That is true. That is true.
You know, you're a first for me. I think you're the first realtor / concert producer I've ever met.
Yeah.
You're a dichotomy.
yeah. That's. I don't think there's too many of us out there. So.
Which one of the two is work?
Well, actually, I've never had a real job in my life, so I don't consider any of this stuff work. It's an adventure every day. The real estate side, a lot of people say that. They say, oh, you know, the theater must be so much fun, and, you know, real estate is, oh, you know, such a job kind of thing. and it so isn't. I mean, with the real estate gang, I mean, I got a lot of salespeople up and down the 401 from Brockville to Port Hope, and it's a good group of people, and I love dealing with them. And again, every day's an adventure. It's almost like everything I'm involved with. I mean, I'm not making widgets, so I don't come in.
Right.
I don't come in every day and do the same thing every day. And the fact that I mean, just sitting in the real estate office all day is not the same thing every day, because there's new problems, there's new issues, there's new exciting things going on that's always going on. So that really drives me. So then you come across the road here, and you talk to on the Empire side, and some of those days, you know, as much as people look at it from the outside and say, well, isn't that fun? I mean, it definitely is, but it sometimes falls into work, because you're trying to please 700 people that may be coming in the door that night, or outside there might be 4,000 people that are coming into the outdoor concerts, and
That's work.
well, it's work. I love it, and thankfully there's a great group of people here that really do all the hard work. And you know, I run around and worry and pick out a few things in here, and I deal with the artists, and I deal with, you know, the money part of it to make sure people get paid, etc. But it's some people say, hey, geez, wasn't Boston wonderful last summer, you know, with 4,000 people going crazy out there? And I say, yeah, it was. And I caught probably 4 songs, you know, because usually when the main act goes on, that's when I'm dealing with the tour managers, and I'm dealing with some of the things and the settlements that have to take place, and there's lots of paperwork and things.
So you're really hands on.
So those are the kind of things that that is just part of it, and I get a kick out of that. I mean, the fact that, but the thing is, maybe I only saw maybe 3 or 4 songs of the main artist that night, but I also, you know, saw the 2-hour sound check and got to chat with them backstage,
I
and that kind of
know.
stuff, which to me is the exciting part too.
Yeah, it's like flying into Paris for work and not seeing the Louvre.
There you go.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it?
I don't do that on a regular day. So but what I do.
What's your dream for Empire Theater? I see you transforming it. I see people taking this theater really seriously now and showing up and looking forward to it. I see the tweets. There's something happening with this Empire Theater. It's, you know, I remember you telling me not long ago that a lot of the famous people will throw you in their tour because it's close to Toronto. But I have a feeling at some point, you know, it'll be a destination for them.
Well, it is a destination. I mean, I always make the joke that, you know, Belleville is not on most artists' career paths, you know, that if they think they can make it here, you know, they can make it anywhere kind of thing. That's not the way the song goes. So so I think what's important is making sure the artists have a good experience when they're here. So this is, you know, we're over 9 years from the day the Empire opened. And while a lot of things have changed over the 9 years, a lot of stuff has stayed the same. And the important parts have stayed the same. The amount of the experience that we try to give the people that come in, some of the the priorities have not changed. We want to make sure we're creating memories for people. We're trying to give them a nice experience when they come in. We, if the experience isn't as good as it should be, well, hopefully we can do what we can to make it as best as possible. But that goes not only from the audience point of view, but also from the artist point of view, because the artists are the ones that, yeah, maybe first time through they're going between Toronto and Montreal, and we happen to be the date that pays their gas that gets them there, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the fact that where we sit is key from a geography point of view, but also there's other theaters around that don't get a lot of the acts that we get here because of, and that has to do with part of my job. I mean,
How many seats are there in your theater?
700.
That's not a bad number, eh?
No, it's a good size.
Very good number.
And for some
My favorite number, by the way.
There you go. Well, some people are, depending on the act. Sometimes I wish I had 1,200 seats, and other times I wish I had 300 seats, depending on the artist. Sometimes, but it's just that the people that are coming through, the artists, they know when they come in that they're coming into a really friendly and good experience for them, and they get fed well. The technical crew that we have here with Wayne McFall and Brandon, I mean, it's just spectacular as far as
that's key, isn't it?
When they come in the door, the stuff that is ready to go. My brother Dave Rashotte, who looks after all the hospitality and basically ringleads a lot of the stuff during the day to make sure the artists are fed well and all that stuff, together with Cafe E comes in and does all of our catering here and things like that. And right out to Tammy and Barb and Andy, Tammy and Barb in the box office, Andy doing the box office, Tammy, Barb, Shannon, and Chris, and as well as the Andy Forgy, who is my best friend since grade 7, which was 433 years ago. So
here's that number 7 again.
There you go. But he's a great guy and a great resource, and he does the PR for the theater. So
I hope I get to meet him. He sounds very nice.
He is a great guy.
Yeah. So you really exceed your expectations, because they probably think it's a little town. I mean, what's the population here? 100,000 in the area, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we service probably 100 to 150,000 people in the wider area.
So you probably exceed their expectations in here. Where hotel do you place them in when they're here, or is that too much of a loaded question? I'm just curious. If you're pampering them, where are you sticking them?
We look after them well. I won't say.
You won't take allegiances. No. They're not staying in your home.
No, that's for sure.
Well, I think you'd probably like to have someone like a Peter Frampton visiting your home. That would be nice to wake up to in the morning.
That would be fine. That would be good too.
Yeah, what about some of the female stars? We haven't given women any lip service here.
Well, you know what? One of the big success stories, biggest ever that we've ever had here, which is just amazing, from somebody that was new starting out to where she is today, is Carly Rae Jepsen, who has gone from she's been here twice before. Once very early on in her career, and then the next probably a year and a bit ago, just opening up for someone else. And since then, she has gone on to have one of the biggest hits in the world and be on some of the biggest tours, including right now she's in the middle of the Justin Bieber tour. She just got nominated for.
Wow.
She just won.
And she's from here.
Well, no, she's Canadian, but she started here. I guess the success part of it is the fact that she's been here a few times and now has gone on to this huge success of Grammy nominations and everything else. So it's which is spectacular to see. She is a real sweet.
She believed in her early on.
Well, she's a real sweet girl, and she came in and has done a couple of shows here, and it's been fabulous. So.
Wow. So
other artists. I mean, we've had other fabulous Canadian artists, including there's been some great highlights over the years of female artists as well. So.
Well, I can see you have that passion for music. Let's talk about passion a little bit. Let's talk about passion for Belleville. or the area, I shouldn't say Belleville, I should say the whole area, because you're pretty well renowned as a businessman in the whole region. Obviously, you have a love of the region because you're here. You're a presence. You don't disappear. You don't seem to escape to Toronto, for instance. You seem to be here, present every day. What do you have as dreams for the area? I read all sorts of things. I see you hanging around groups about branding the area and so on. What do you see as the future of this area?
Well, it's, I mean, I'm born and raised here, so and with the exception of about a 10-year period from 74 to 84 where my address was still here, but I was on the road 250 nights a year playing in bands with Andy and other folks here.
What's here, like Belleville, or?
Yeah, Belleville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but the thing is that I mean, I love this area. Obviously, you know, there's always opportunities to do other things in other areas, but I love this area, and so I mean, I've got a vested interest, you know, as years have gone on with the real estate part of it, which again spans up and down the 401, but also the you know, have a Dominion lending mortgage franchise that I have as well as
comes
a
in handy, doesn't it?
Yes, as well as a cafe, and with Cafe E here, who is fabulous. So we but the theater, I was going to say regional theater, but it's even bigger than that. I mean, we draw in people from all over the province and even New York State, that people come in for the shows that are here. So, and of course, the joy of the internet now is that you put something out or tweet it out, or you do whatever.
I know. I just retweeted you this morning.
Oh, well, thank you. Good for you. Good for you. But when you do that kind of stuff, it ends up and it ends up the reach is so much further now. So it's we've had people come in when the Tragically Hip played here. They did a fan club show. I mean, we had somebody fly in from Japan for the show.
Wow!
That saw it on our site and whatever, and came to see them. You know, you have some of those acts, and even the Lindsey Buckinghams and people like that we've had people come in from you know, Southern California and through this, and so so the thing is, I guess, is that people are coming into this area. Things that we're doing here are drawing people in for different events, and so. And I'm very proud of this area, and I want to be more proud of this area as every day goes on. So, so because of that, yes, I mean, involved with some great folks, you know, with the Mayor Ellis and the task force for downtown Belleville, and
I know I've noticed him tweeting a lot about changing Belleville, and they're all talking about changing Belleville.
Well, it's the Build Better Belleville deal with which the council is dealing with right now to try to. Basically borrow money now and get a lot of the infrastructure things done that are that potentially could be dragged out for years and end up. Just money is so cheap right now, and it is good debt to be able to get into some stuff that you know has to get done. It's not just a matter of borrowing it to you know, to buy a new car, which is devalues the next day. It's it has to do with replacing stuff that has to get done I mean, in this city, and if the infrastructure is done, it will allow other you know,
what are the key
investors.
What are the key highlights on those?
Well, I mean, the city council is still in the Belleville area is still dealing with that, so they will be dealing with that over the next number of months to make sure.
No insight we can get on.
Well, you can talk to them. I mean, they're the ones that make the final decision. I mean, we're obviously.
What's the key infrastructure that you're hoping to get your hands on?
Well, depending on who you talk to and some of the discussions that have taken place. I mean, there's roads in all the different parts of the area. There's sewers and water lines and upgrades on the sewer systems and water systems to be able to take the different. I mean, you can't put up buildings in downtown Belleville or other parts that are going to have, you know, use lots of capacity for sewers and water and that kind of stuff if you can't get the water to them. Right? So the thing is, if those infrastructure things are in play, and of course you're digging up the ground, so of course you're going to have new roads on top of them and that type of deal. And then also part of it in the plan that is being discussed anyways is also some money going towards downtown Belleville, which obviously I believe strongly in, and
I'm so glad to hear that.
invested down here, and it's a matter of getting more people living down here. And
it's such a charming little town.
When more people start living down here, there's going to be more things that flow very quickly from a commercial side as well. So
I know there's been this there's division between the upper end, I call it uptown, by the way, versus downtown. This warfare going on for the longest time, and
I don't agree with that. I mean, I as far as warfare goes, I mean, I think it's a matter of there is the the Bell Boulevard stretch with the big boxes and the malls and everything else. I mean, that's a certain experience that
right.
towns need, and they have to have, and we've been very lucky to have that in this area. That's brought attention to Belleville on those fronts. I mean, I've got no issue with that at all. But I think part of it is the downtown. We just can't feel inferior to that, and the people in the downtown, and we can't have that kind of complex, and we have to be very proactive and know that we can give an experience down here that's different from an experience you can have on Bell Boulevard. They can live very nicely together, and people that are coming to town to shop at one of the best malls going out there, and also up on Bell Boulevard where all the big boxes, stores are and things are. I mean, people that are coming and shopping there and are maybe drawn for that. If we have a good experience, a mile or two down the road in the downtown, I mean, they're going to make their way down here as well.
Yeah.
And we should be aware of that. I mean, to me, if you have a nice event here at the Empire Theater, people come in maybe for an event, but they're also using hotels, and they're also using, and maybe they'll stay the next night and do an event somewhere else. Yeah. So, and I know that we have to keep drawing on this. So the fact that Uptown has got a really vibrant activity going on, and downtown is growing in certain fronts.
I see the transformation.
That's a good thing. And, but in reverse,
that's well said, though. A different experience.
But the bigger identity, the bigger experience that we can give down here, and people are maybe coming into town for a downtown experience. Well, the next thing is that they may go. We may be a generator of business for the uptown as well, and that's the thing. I know that is already from an Empire Theater point of view, an event point of view, that people come in and they use the different facilities in town, and no matter where it is. So the same way as Prince Edward County, which is such a fabulous area. And that the fact that somebody is coming to be involved with the wineries or be involved with the beaches or the fabulous restaurants down there, I mean, there's also the opportunity, from my point of view, that they're going to come to an event at the Empire, or they're going to come and use some of the fabulous restaurants of downtown Belleville, or maybe they're going to come and use the big box stores in the mall, because that's all part of it. It makes the area stronger, and it will generate more people in.
Well said. You said earlier you're a happy man. You want to elaborate on that?
Oh, I'm just happy. Business is wonderful, and life is good. So that's the extent of that one.
Life is good. You told me that you believe in health, and you have a regime that you follow with exercising and juicing and.
Oh, geez.
Fill me in on your energy.
Well, regime is interesting. There isn't really an exercise regime, that's for sure. But I do exercise every day, and I don't go to the gym and work out for 2 hours like some people that I know, and I'm not that dedicated on that side. But I do a morning routine that I do, and then but from a health point of view, I got very heavy into juicing over the last 6 months or so, but just trying to eat healthier, especially for the last year and a half.
Did it give you more energy?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no question on that. But part of it was
that's a good endorsement.
Oh yeah, but I can tell you that back in I've never had a real lack of energy, but I would get to a point where I would burn out and be done, sort of thing, as the day went on. Whereas I noticed that doesn't happen anymore. It's just like it's sort of full tilt 24/7, and it doesn't sort of slow down anymore, which is nice. But back in the early spring, it probably was in February of 12 that we I got into this movie called Hungry for Change. So this was a thing. It was a thing. It was out of Australia, and it was a broadcast online for free for a couple of weeks. So I watched that, and then the next thing that was very inspiring. And then
Hungry for Change from Australia. Going to watch that.
Yes. So
online.
Yes,
Okay.
you can watch it online, or you can buy it now. Or you can.
And
do it
that
free.
inspired you.
But that was very inspired just about in general on the health side. But then a few months later. I wasn't really into juicing. I'd always juiced. Not always. I had juiced from time to time a little bit over my life, but I didn't really understand it. But then a movie from the same group of people called "Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead," really happy title.
Yeah.
It's from. It's a fabulous, inspiring movie. So the thing is that was in May, and that got me into the juicing more. So that got me into juicing heavy duty. So time sort of has gone on. And I mean, you know, the byproduct of eating well is that you lose weight, you get healthier, all this kind of stuff happens. So all this stuff happens. A lot of people were saying here, especially at the offices and that Royal Page, were saying, "Hey, you know, what did you do? What have you been doing?" So what I did was, and I wasn't doing this to be evangelistic about it. I mean, it was just a matter. I started saying, "Oh well, you know, here's some movies and whatever," and people started talking about it. And then I thought, "Geez, maybe I'll put them on for I'll play them for my Royal Page people."
Corporate health.
And then but before I did that, the buzz sort of started growing a little bit, and I said, "Well, why don't I put it on to the public?" So I got a hold of the people that did the movie in Australia, and I asked for the licensing to put it on here at the Empire and open it up.
Isn't that great?
So I did that back in, I think it was October of this year. And as I put them on thinking, well, will 20 people show up? Will 50 people show up? Whatever. You know, it was close to 500 people showed up for Hungry for Change. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Did they know it was about health?
Oh, yeah. No, we pushed it as that. But just on social media and websites and that kind of stuff. And through my salespeople.
Isn't that great?
So that was Hungry for Change. And because of the response, 2 weeks later, I did the same thing. These are all free. We just let people come in and watch it. Did the Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead the 2 weeks later. And that one got like a huge uproar at the end, people applauding and cheering. And the amount of people that have been emailing and sending things in and since then and looking for recommendations for juicers and everything else.
Isn't that sweet?
It's actually crazy. And we actually have a weekly thing inside Royal Page now. It's sort of a health thing every Monday morning. And we just finished one.
That is so real and thinking out of the box.
Where we get together and we have a big group of people. We get together and we just go through extra videos on this stuff. And we talk about eating right and whatever. And we go on our way, and it's amazing the culture change that has happened inside the office because of that. But it's a great spot to be.
So what do you do when you put your feet up to have a rest? When you finally burn out? Not assuming that you burn out anymore with the juicing, but what do you do when you've had it? You don't want to be in your cave. You don't want to be at work. You want to find some respite. What do you do? Stick around in your pajamas, hang around at home? What do you do?
No,
or do you have that such a time?
Well, I'm not much for that, but as far as just sitting around doing nothing for something to do, but I mean, from time to time I do that. But I mean, again, as I said, I'm a music fan, so one of my big passions is I mean, I go to concerts, I go to shows, and even though that's my day job some days with the Empire. I really enjoy, and I'm a big fan of people. I mean, Bruce Springsteen, I've seen a gazillion times, probably 60 plus times now. You have guys like The Who and McCartney and people like that are still out and about. I mean, I'm a classic rock guy, but I also like. I always like catching new acts from time to time as well. So ones that I follow, because I'm always following music and what's going on.
Right.
So when I have an artist that I really like, and some people think it's kind of odd sometimes, where I will go out and make a trip to Toronto to go to a bar to see a certain act because it's and it's just kind of odd, but I've heard a bit of a buzz and I really wanted to see them, and I like what they're doing. So I like to support where I can.
What's that about, Abbey Road and the River?
Well, Abbey Road and the River is part of the band. I mean, I'm in with again with Andy Forgey and Steve Smith and Vita Slipkowskis and Al Herring and Paul Lockyer, and together with Wayne McFall, who's our secret weapon when he's our sound guy and sax from time to time.
So you play in a band?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I did.
Hello.
That's what I did for.
End of the interview, and we're just talking about that.
Yeah. So yeah, back in I mean, again, grade 7, Andy and I met, and we formed a band back then, and we've been playing ever since. So
do you sing?
So, including I'm a guitar player and do some backup singing. So
yeah.
But we do. But we in the whole band world, just very quickly. I mean, we did the besides being kids and going through high school, and after high school we went on the road professionally for 10 years, again playing 250 nights a year all over North America, all over Canada, a little bit north, little bit of northern New York, northern U.S. And but we also, in that time frame, a lot of great things happened. I mean, we were writing, we got signed to Capitol Records, we got to work with Daniel Lanois, who's one of the biggest producers in the world, and
wow.
He is, you know, so there's been some really kind of cool stuff that's happened in that. But then in '84 we pulled it off the road when you know we weren't with Capitol anymore after an album and a bunch of singles, and we decided it was time to get a real job, and my real job at that point was to get into real estate, but the
now, where can we get
which I don't consider a real job either. It's all just it's all.
Well, I think it's probably work.
It's work, but it's part of the.
You just enjoy it.
I do enjoy it.
Work is work when you don't enjoy it.
That's right.
Yeah, I enjoy what I do. I actually ditto, because I love what I do, and it's not about money. I mean, you make a lot more money than I do, of course, but the future's all out for us. But I love what I do. Finally, I'm doing what I want to do. So yeah, I understand when people call work work. It's labor. Yeah. I think that's a key in life. Is labor is something that we just simply have to do in life. But if we can enjoy it and do what we love, then it's not labor anymore.
Oh no.
It seems like you've got, that's your key to your success, I think.
Well, I get to wake up and do stuff I like all day. And,
you look forward to it.
And I look forward to it. Can't wait to do it. And
how'd you look forward to this interview?
Oh, I've been dreading it forever. No, I'm kidding. It's fine. It's not a problem. Not a problem.
Well, you've been a delight. I'm not really introducing you to the public, but maybe a little bit more. To some people, you're still new. But I think people need to get to know you, because I think we're going to see a lot of you in the years to come.
Well, thanks for having me here today. It's been fun.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure. Mark Rashotte, the man behind the Empire Theatre, the largest franchise of Royal LePage, I believe, in Ontario, perhaps in Canada.
Yeah, one of the biggest in Canada.
One of the biggest in Canada. And the owner of Dominion Lending and the E-Cafe, where, by the way, you can actually use the Wi-Fi without having to stand in line behind 30 people and sitting on half a chair. So it's been a delight. Thank you, Mark.